Welcome everyone to the annual joint meeting of the City Planning Commission and the Capital Long Range Improvement Committee. Today is Thursday, March 15th, 2025, and I'm Chris Meyer, the President of the Planning Commission. At this time, I'm going to call to order the special meeting of the Planning Commission, and then after that, we'll also turn the chair over to the CLIC Committee Chair to convene their meeting. But first, the Planning Commission. Can the clerk please call the roll to verify a quorum?
Commissioner Baxley is absent. Campbell is absent. Chowdhury. Present. Conley.
Present.
Gordon.
Present.
Jones. Present. Meyer.
Here.
Shefty is absent. Thompson is absent. Wagner is absent. We have 5 members present.
So we have a quorum. A couple quick housekeeping notes. First, only 4 of these machines can be on at once, so after you're done speaking, please turn off your mic so that other people can turn theirs on. And then second, the doors lock at 6 p.m. Ken is going to be out there to let people in and out, but just be aware that they do lock. With that, we just have the one item on our agenda today. Is there a motion to approve the agenda? Any discussion? All right, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? The agenda is adopted. With that, I will turn it over to John Bernstein, the chair of the Capital Long Range Improvement Committee.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is John Bernstein, and I am the chair of the Capital Long Range Improvement Committee. I'll now call this meeting to order and ask that the clerk call the roll so that we may verify the presence of a quorum.
McCormick is absent. Owen. Hanson.
Present.
Netz. Present. Like. Here. Liburg. Present. Caparini is absent. Bakken is absent. Adam. Present. Bernstein.
Here.
Maternoski. Present. Bulls. Here. Kazinka. Here. Bernberg is absent. Sandoval. Here. Woodworth. Here. Hustad. Here. McDougall.
Present.
Gaston is absent. McConnell is absent. Nigro is absent. Stitt is absent. And Saunders is absent. We have 14 members present.
Thank you. With that, we will proceed to, we do have a quorum, and with that, we'll proceed to our agenda, a copy of which was posted for public access to the city's Legislative Information Management System, which is available at lims.minneapolismn.gov. And with that, I'll entertain a motion from the members of CLIC to approve the agenda.
So moved. Seconded.
Is there any discussion on that motion?
I just had one quick note. Our printed agenda has the wrong date and time on it.
My apologies, that's my mistake. It's not what was posted online. It's
Okay.
just for reference for this meeting, so thank you for bearing with me.
All right, thank you. Anything further before we vote on the motion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right.
I'll pass it back to you, Chris.
Great. So we just have our one and only discussion item, a public hearing to consider the proposed capital projects for the 2026 to 2031 Capital Improvement Program, and staff for this is Medel Muda.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Medel Muta, and I'm a planner within the Department of Community Planning and Economic Development. So the item that is being introduced is a state law and charter required joint public hearing between the Capital Long Range Improvement Committee and the City Planning Commission. The purpose of the public hearing is to receive public testimony on the capital budget requests as part of the 2026 through 2031 Capital Improvement Program. All written public comments and a summary of this meeting will be included in the final CLIC report and provided to the Mayor and the City Council. The public hearing will be open for any members of the public to speak. Once testimony is complete, the public hearing will be closed and the City Planning Commission will have the opportunity to ask questions to the Capital Long Range Improvement Committee about the process or about any of their proposals. CBID staff will return to the City Planning Commission at their next Committee of the Whole meeting on June 5th for the location and design review of the 10 new projects for a determination of compliance with the Minneapolis 2040 Comprehensive Plan. Some of the staff assigned to capital project budget requests are present this evening and may be available to answer questions. If there are any questions that can't be answered at this meeting, I will collect questions and then forward those to staff to follow up with answers.
Thank you, Medell. I will now open the public hearing for the proposed 2026 to 2031 capital improvement projects. Is there anyone here who would like to speak to this item? If so, you can go to the podium. Go ahead, Amity. Please tell us your name and address for the record, and you may proceed.
My name is Amity Foster. I live at 1605 2nd Street Northeast. I'm in Ward 3. There's actually two projects that I want to speak to. One is BP 006, which is the California Street, the connecting bike trail. And I have been a champion for this one since I was on Click. Clearly I'm no longer on Click. This project is important because it connects paved trails between downtown Minneapolis and northeast Minneapolis. It's dangerous without the pavement there. I just,
There you go.
It's okay.
do I need to start? Oh my God. Do I need to start over?
You can if you'd like, so that you can get it all on video.
Okay. My name is Amity Foster. I live at 1605 2nd Street Northeast. I live in Ward 3. I have been a member of CLIC before. I want to speak to BP 006. It's the California Street Bike Trail. It's a connecting path. It keeps getting pushed out further and further because the city has to negotiate with the railroad, who is notoriously bad at doing that. I just want to say that I have heard that they have started a new strategy around that because there's more projects that require that work to be done. So thank you to Public Works and thank you to the city for taking CLIC suggestions into thought and moving forward on this. It'll be a really important connecting trail for the city. So thanks for all of that work. Do you want me to keep going or is
Yes.
there? Okay. The other one that I want to speak to is PV 189, which is the Downtown Transit Improvement Project. This is also the Nicollet Mall pedestrianization project. This came forward from a legislative directive from the mayor in 2023. There have been 2 rounds of community engagement done around it. The project as proposed by Public Works is asking for $20 million, $10 million over 2 years. There's no information in the project about what it actually is, except we're gonna move buses to one of these 3 options. It bothers me that the city is putting forward a project for this body to vote to support or oppose that is $20 million. That's outrageously expensive. That money could be used for other things. There's no clear definition to what's actually going to be done. The other thing that is frustrating about it is that the city has done community engagement, 2 rounds. I participated in both of them. I know a lot of people who showed up to those. I appreciate Public Works' effort around that. It's been done better than some other community engagements that I've seen. What is frustrating is that in the CBR, it's noted that community engagement was done. What is not noted is the results of that community engagement. There is no clear support for moving the buses off of Nicollet Mall. The majority of people who engaged in that process either have questions about it or oppose it. If Public Works puts forward CBRs where community engagement was done, and they expect CLIC to review that CBR without being told what the engagement was, what the results of it was, feels wrong and not how a government body should be working with residents and community members, especially community members who are being asked to score a project that the mayor and the council use in forming the city's budget. If you have questions about PV 189, not PV 189, if you have questions about Nicollet Mall pedestrianization, I'm down to answer them, but I've spoken to the matter. So thank you.
Thank you for your testimony.
Yeah.
Next speaker. Did anyone else want to testify today? If you did, raise your hand. Anyone? Was Amity our only speaker today?
There's someone walking in right now that I know.
meeting will want to speak.
Hello, welcome. Did you want to testify? You're next. Please tell us your name and address for the record, and you may begin.
Yes, my name is Melanie Leahy. The address of my business is 300 Nicollet Mall, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 55401. Inside the Minneapolis Central Library is where Mocha Mama's Coffee is, and I am also Mocha Mama. So the reason I'm here is in regards to the work that is being considered of removing the buses from Nicollet Mall. I am opposed to that. I'll just put that out there up front. And just a little background for me, I'm a native of Minneapolis. I love this city. I don't live here anymore, but I'm very passionate about what takes place in my hometown. And with the nonprofit work that I've been doing since the 80s has been helping young people. So since I was young, I've been helping young people. And I had a desire to have a coffee shop to mentor urban youth. And so I'm in my third iteration of doing that right now. And I was looking for a place. I've been doing work in North Minneapolis, almost opened there, but someone with cash bought the place. So just sovereignty, I ended up being able to receive an invitation to bid for where the Dunn Brothers used to be inside the library. Prior to that, it was a Caribou Coffee. So I won the bid, very excited. My board was very excited about that, and a week later, COVID happened. So I was able to wait until June 1st of 22 to open the doors. So I'm coming up on 3 years of being in that location. It's a very challenging location for multiple reasons, one of which is people are still working hybrid, and it works for them, but not so much for small businesses. And I know that Nicollet Mall, there is a desire to see it as a vibrant place. And when I've pitched to different supporters of what I've been doing, I said, I believe that downtown Minneapolis can blossom. And I want to be a part of that blossoming. But when buses are blocked from going down Nicollet, business has tanked, and I've had to send team members home. It was very definite. Times that they would close it on Thursdays for the mini farmers market events that they would do farther west on Nicollet Mall impacted me there. When I opened, immediately people said that they found me because they got off their bus there, or they got on their bus there. And since then, people will wait sometimes inside the library or sometimes inside Mocha Mama's Coffee to go and catch their bus, or either they're commuting or going home from school. One of my interns takes the train and then the bus, and that's how she found Mocha Mama's Coffee. So it has helped my business to be there to help young people. So I want to be a part of the solution, but taking the buses off is not going to help the solution. It might help the larger restaurants that have patio seating, but it will not help other businesses. And I have talked to many people who work and live downtown, and they are also opposed to it. Many of the surveys that have been done have stated the same thing. And I've done the research and read through those, and people say this won't help me. The people that have impairments, whether it's visually or or other physical impairments, use the public transit that goes down Nicollet Mall. So I'm a person that if I'm opposed, I will try and come up with another solution rather than just say I don't like it. So if for some reason there's an unwillingness to leave the buses there, maybe hybrid that and leave the buses on from Washington through 6th Street, because then that way it can at least connect people to the train. So it's a win-win in that regards, even though it doesn't help people I know that live in the Loring Park neighborhood that commute all the way down to the eastern part of Nicollet Mall. I have reached out with emails and phone calls and through portals to the mayor, to council members, to Met Council. Met Council, I've talked to my own commissioner. He's done his research and said the decision is to be made by the city of Minneapolis. So they're hands off, even though it's their buses. So I am appealing to you to leave the buses on Nicollet Mall. In the 80s and in the aughts, I worked in corporate America downtown. Never had any problems with buses. There were a lot more people there, and no one was getting injured by buses on Nicollet Mall. And we were able to have a free-flowing activity in commuting through that. And I could say a lot more, but I'm being sensitive to your time. If you have questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them. But I'm very passionate about the work I'm doing to mentor urban youth through coffee so the community can thrive. Because if I impact one youth, it's going to impact their family and their neighborhood. So imagine repeating that over and over and over again. And this is a sustainable model that I'm attempting to put in place where we're not going to be with them just 6 months, 9 months, 18 months, but a 10-year track. Because it really takes that if you're going to be in someone's life and watch them go through triumphs and trials. And so that's what I'm doing, and I appreciate your help. This is my help that I'm asking from you, is to consider, please leave the buses there. Any questions, or is that sufficient?
Thank you for your testimony.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you all.
Did anyone else want to speak? Okay. Not seeing anyone else, so I will close the public hearing. Commissioners, is there any discussion or questions about our one agenda item? All right. Commissioner Chowdhury, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, I've never really used these mics before. So. I don't know. Okay, thanks, Rachel. I don't know if it's on, but I made a good effort. I don't think I can do anything on my end. What I wanted to comment on is more of, I guess, a question for our friends here on the Click. Wanted to just hear from you initially if you had some thoughts either on what was brought forward in the public testimony or the other items that you're considering, or just maybe an approach that you're kind of going into this next year. I know that we got a really good presentation last year to the council. That was my first time receiving it, and a goal of mine and being here today is to help support our body in being more proactive in communicating with Click and being more proactive in just our budgeting, because we know it's going to be a tough budget year. So yeah, I just wanted to open up this for discussion and just see what you all are thinking looking into this budget cycle.
Thank you, Commissioner Chowdhury. I'm going to turn it over to Chair Bernstein.
Thanks. So I'm not, is there a question? I'm sorry, I wasn't clear on whether you have a question or you're just looking for comments.
Yeah, it was like a question and open for discussion. So comments around that general theme. The question is just, what are folks on the Click thinking about the project's approach? Anything?
So I guess what I would say at this point is
Anything in
it's a little bit
response to the
premature.
public testimony?
We're still in process with that, so I don't think this would be a good time for people to, members, including myself, to give opinions about projects, because we've got, whatever the body thinks, it's the body's view of that, and we have a whole bunch of voting to do over the next, and deliberating to do over the next 6 or 7 weeks or so. So I don't think this would be the right time for us to comment on that.
So it might not be the time for them to comment, but it's the time for us to comment. This is the only time the commissioners get to. So did any other commissioners want to speak to the two items the testifiers brought up, or any other items in the Click? Commissioner Gordon, or Conley or Gordon?
I was just going to ask if maybe for the public and for some of us, just the process after this. So we have this meeting, we hear some powerful testimony about some of the projects, in the plan, what are the next steps after this?
I'm going to ask Medell to speak to that. Oh.
It's not the problem.
Yeah, it's just a dead one, I think.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so next steps for the City Planning Commission. On June 5th, myself and my colleague John will be coming back to COW, and we are going to be providing another review for you. So all of the projects have to go through location and design review, and those, like, we just check them to make sure that they are in conformance with the Minneapolis 2040 comp plan. And so then once we present to you, then you will have to vote to approve or not approve to move items at the next CPC meeting, which will be the week after on June 16th.
And then can you tell us where it goes from there? Like what's the whole process for it to be approved?
From there, okay, basically the reason for that is that every single project that goes for through budget request, they need to be approved in order to receive funding. So after that, I'm not entirely sure about like who that goes back to, but I can have a clear answer for you.
I just meant in terms of the click. Like, what does the click do after we've made our approvals?
Why don't I answer that? So our process, I'll just start from the beginning of our process. So we receive 130 CBRs, capital budget requests, at the beginning of April. We get presentations from all of the departments that those CBRs originated from in person. That's basically 2 8-hour days that this committee sits and listens to those presentations. And then it's a process of deciding which projects we feel there's a comment that needs to be made. And so there's a process around which we develop those comments and vote on them and approve them for the final report. Additionally, each member of CLIC votes and rates all of the projects that we see, and we have a clear system that we use for that can be found online. And actually, tomorrow is the day that those rankings and scorings are due from each of the members. And so the next steps after that will be that information will be aggregated so that we can see as a committee how we feel about the 130 projects. And then the next steps from there will be to try to take the comments that we've made, the scores that we've come up with, and the funding that's available, and come up with the best match and put forward a capital budget plan for the next 6 years that will be based on those three things in particular. And then we do that for the net debt bond budget. We also do it for the enterprise funds. That's the two sewer enterprise funds that we see, the parking enterprise fund and the water fund. And then the only other thing I'd underscore is that everything we do is advisory, right? The elected officials can choose to ignore everything we recommend, or they could choose to accept everything we recommend. And I would say over the time I've been on CLIC, which is longer than I'll admit to in public, is the general rule has been that the elected officials have taken the advice of CLIC at a very high rate, probably in the 80 to 90% range, depending on whether you're looking at dollars or projects or whatever. So that's the process.
Thank you.
And sorry, one last thing. A formal report comes out in early July that will reflect everything that I just said.
And from there, then it goes to the council and is part of their normal budget process. Is that right? Okay. Thank you. Are there any other questions or discussion from commissioners? Commissioner Chowdhury.
I'll just note, I know some of the testifiers brought forward concerns around Nicollet Avenue pedestrianization. I'll share, we've gotten presentations in the Climate and Infrastructure Committee on Nicollet Avenue from our Public Works team. There is concerns among council members on what the actual plan will be for transit users, because they will be the most impacted with buses being taken off. That's been a part of the conversation that I personally have felt hasn't been centered, and the work group that's been in charge of Nicollet Avenue pedestrianizations looks like the mayor's office and then a large amount of downtown stakeholders, which is fine, but it is lacking in the voices of transit users and then also the legislative body on the city council. So I also have a little bit of pause of a $20 million request coming to the Capital Long Range Improvement Committee as council members are asking questions about what's the plan for transit and if this is going to be something that's feasible. And in addition to that, questions around what's going to happen on the days when there aren't planned activities on Nicollet Avenue, right? I personally have a hard time wrapping my head around the idea of having activities every single day, 7 days a week for peak times and what the impact might be if an area that's so large is left vacant. So I did want to share that.
Thank you, Commissioner Chowdhury. Anyone else?
Well, so
I don't.
I think.
Sorry.
I think the protocol here is you're in your meeting, right? So it's your commissioners at the moment, and you'll turn it over to me in a minute,
Right.
and then I can recognize our members if they want to speak.
Yep. All right. So I'll turn it over to you to do that.
Okay, so with that, we've completed the agenda for the meeting, but before we conclude, I'll ask if there's members that have anything they'd like to raise. Owen, let's go Owen, and then Patrick, and then it looks like Vince maybe has something.
Mine was simply a point of clarification. I'll ask at the end of the list.
Okay, go ahead, Patrick.
I just had one quick comment. I wanted to say that I agree with everything that John said about our process. The one thing that I just wanted to add, and I know that John knows this, but we all take public testimony as part of our individual rankings, as well as how we incorporate our comments and all of our aggregate decisions. You know, we have two public listening sessions as well as this public hearing, and we factor those into all of the things that we're doing.
I just wanted to answer the council member's question slightly by, I'm the newest CLIC member, so I can make the mistake of talking about inside pool just a little bit, which is we have two subcommittees, and I'm astonished by two things about the CLIC. One is how much work it is, and how many meetings there are, how interesting it is, and then the last part is how thoughtful the discussion amongst the members are. So there are two subcommittees. They do their private sessions and then take up this into the bigger room, and then the comments come out. So we definitely take these kinds of comments seriously, and there's a lot of good discussion already going on about it. But we're also in our grading process, so we have to wait for the white smoke to come out of the chimney.
I would just clarify one thing you said, because I don't think it's what you meant, but it could be misinterpreted. There are no private meetings. The two working groups meet individually, but we abide by all open meeting laws.
Individually, yes.
Yes.
Yes, the point of clarification I wanted to ask was if this is the appropriate time for personal comment, because while understanding we cannot speak for CLIC, I think it is within our bounds to speak as individuals on the membership board of CLIC. Yes or no?
I guess I think this is probably not the forum for that today.
Understood.
All right, so if there's nothing else, I will declare the CLIC, sorry, get to the right spot here. Yeah, I guess I'll just turn it
The
back.
script has our side adjourning first.
Right. Oh, so go ahead.
Okay. All right. So that was our one and only meeting, or agenda item, and I'll direct the clerk to receive and file that. Our next regular planning commission meeting will be Monday, June 2nd, and our next committee of the whole will be Thursday, June 5th, 2025. Were there any updates from commissioners or staff? All right. Seeing none, we are adjourned, and I'll turn it over to Chair Bernstein.
So again, unless there's any other comments anybody would like to make from the click side, I will also declare this meeting adjourned, and our next meeting will be Wednesday, May 21st. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.